Oh, hello there. This is Lisa Swank, and I'm coming to you with this month's theme, which is transformation. And I'm in the middle of getting the rest of my art room supplies uh, where I'm currently staying at the moment. And so this is going to be a real quick video. And of course, it's on transformation. I couldn't find my journal that I've been using all year long because of the mess that's in my studio right now. And here I'm just trying to think of things that we transform, words into music, melody. It's taking one thing and changing it into another. And so I'm going to collage these down with a little matte medium here. I put some gesso on this paper because it's watercolor paper. I think it was Bees watercolor paper. And I'm just collaging down just for, to build up some layers. Some folk art paint, and I don't know if they're getting if they were old when I got them, but the studio right now is pretty chilly. But here I'm taking two colors, and you could see the purple that it makes when you mix the blue and the pink together, made a pretty purple. And here I'm just kind of thinking of things that transform, and here's a sprout that I painted. And then as the season goes on, it gets bigger and it transforms into a flower. So I thought that would be a good metaphor for things that transform. And this is color shift paint, and I left those in my studio at home, so I hadn't had them for about a year and a half. They still seem to be pretty good. But of course I chose a color that was too close to the background. So I changed this a couple of times. And there's the pink, which wasn't a good choice. So I decided on, I think it was orange. That way you could see the flower. There's a lot of things that transform in our lives, whether or not it's plants or people, insects, the earth, over how many thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And of course, the best example of, well, I guess this is actually metamorphosis, but it's a transformation. A caterpillar or an inchworm, or put some gesso down here so I could use a brighter color so it would pop out. so I just went over the image with some gesso and then the center of the flower. I chose this is all folk art paint, I think. It's what was on my table at the time. So, and I have a lot of things in boxes, and so I just used what was handy there. Cleared a little spot off of my table so I could do this video. And this here was goopy, really goopy, and I don't think these are that old. Maybe it's just because it's chilly in the studio right now. I'm just going to put a little lighter green to indicate a highlight. And of course the caterpillar would turn into a butterfly or transform into a butterfly. And I put a little gesso over the stencil first, and then didn't move my stencil, and then went over it with a darker color, and then, you know, just trying to make it look like a pretty butterfly. Without moving the stencil. And then I didn't think the image was dark enough, so now I'm trying to dry it a little bit before I move it in case I want to add another color to it. You just don't want to get too close to the plastic stencil because it would probably melt it. I'm trying to make the edge of the butterfly show up a little more. There we go. Then I just kind of work on this butterfly to build it up a little bit. I should have shut the camera off where it was drying things, but I didn't. And this is just a water-soluble crayon that I'm coloring over to, you know, give the butterfly more depth so you can see it better. And I chose to use blue. And this is the purple color shift paint. You know, when you move it, you can't really see it that well on camera, but it does make a little flash of color. I think that's what they call it, is flash. And I believe folk art makes that. Putting in, you know, looks like the caterpillar is standing on the ground and anchored the flower down. so they don't look like they're floating. And I couldn't find my Stabilo pencil with the big mess that's in my studio right now, because normally I would have gone around this with a Stabilo all, you know, just trace it. And this is the yellow flash. And I'm just going over everything with it. Kind of glitzed it up, and when you turn the paper a certain way or tilt it back and forth, you get a little flash of color. Okay, we're almost nearly to the end. I think I do go over the butterfly, yeah. And, you know, it just added another layer to it. And I love how the butterfly came out. I have to do that technique again. And I thought it needed a border. Oh, I knocked the color back a little bit in the background. Just to make the images stand out a little more. And that was gesso paint and a cut up acrylic hot pad. Have several of those. And I kind of dry it up. And then I think I go around the edge with, I think it's blue, water soluble crayon to kind of give it a little border. And I'll glue this into my current journal when I find it. And I write the word transformation here. All right. I hope you guys give this a go and post your pictures over in my creative year. It was a fun little page to do. And yeah, and then I take the water. I think that's a Pentel. I forget the name of it. It's old. It's a real old one. Okay, I shall see you guys later, and hopefully I can see your pictures in the group. Bye-bye now.